Welcome to Event-Vods. This is the full VOD of today's NLC Winter 2025 matchup.
And if DMG are not careful enough about their picks and bans, they will lose it before the game even starts.
My goodness, we going in hot. We going in hot. Any DMG fans in the chat? Please show up. Skarner removed Draven as well. Victor, Kalista, and Cassante. The Wukong is still available. The Vi as well is still available. Varus, if we don't have it, well, they kind of handshake on that and they can take Jankos is another one. We saw the Corki previously, didn't work, and for the first time today, Jace is available. But keep in mind, there's an item that makes Jace a little bit more interesting that is also not available.
Yeah, the Unending Despair is not available, but I think anyone's watching the LEC, I highly shout out to Nymeri, put a whole little segment on Tank Jace and why it works, because a lot of it's also the runes, because it allows you to survive the lane swaps a lot easier than you would if you've gone damage, and that's partly why Jace is getting away with being played when a lot of those lane dominant champions aren't right now, and that being up is still very much an option. I think Leader and Perks could both happily play it if you want to flex it somewhere else as well. But I think the response here from DMG, they've gotten the Varus, which is really strong. They've gotten the Rel, that's really strong. That combo plays in multiple different ways. You can play a little bit longer range if you want to. You can play for the pick. It makes a lot of sense, and it fits in most compositions.
So we gotta see what else DMG are going to bring out, because so far I'm still a little bit suspicious about whether they would be able to show us something new and fresh in their draft, because otherwise I would be worried for them. But we have Aurora. It's our first Aurora of the day, by the way, and we expected this year. I believe we talked in the beginning of the day today that she's one of those priority picks that we're seeing throughout NLC. I'm happy to see her back because she will be happy with Varus and Rel, and especially Rel, to be honest, because whenever she gets the opportunity to lock people down, especially with the J4 combined with her ultimate, people are not getting out of it.
Yeah, you've got a big amount of teamfight wombo combo there. My question then comes, does Bizgard play something like the Vladimir, which has kind of been rising in priority specifically into the Aurora? Because Aurora likes to play her laning phase with incremental amounts of damage. And Vladimir is just been chasing after the blood bank and stealing all that health back. You don't get to play those extended trades. Instead, they're going to go towards the Orianna instead and say, look, well, we'll match you teamfight wombo for teamfight wombo. The moment 5 players, hell, 3 players turn up on the same screen, a lot of people will be pressing their R buttons.
Yeah, this is a wombo combo game. This is everybody presses R and let's see who survives. I don't think this is a good day to play as a Varus, because you need mobility, and I think you just locked in. And just as we heard yesterday, hey, but Varus has flash every 5 minutes. Rumble and Jace are removed on the second rotation. A little bit of attention towards the top side. Keep in mind that this Aurora can be played in multiple positions in the map. It was used like that. I know it's not used it anymore, but this is an interesting team, so we might get some interesting picks as well.
Rather happy for DMG for them removing this Rumble, because I feel like for Ruddy side right now, this is such a great opportunity to pair up what they already have with Aurora and J4 with some additional wombo combo on top of that, just laying on some more ultimates that are going to lock people. No, they're going to kill people who are already locked in those ultimates from these 2 champions. So Ruddy side can really play this very funny here.
And look, we've already seen the Ruddy Sack graphics, and shout out to the graphics team, actually. Teddy and the crew have done a phenomenal job with all the Premier League graphics for the football scores. And look, it's January. It's the transfer window. You've got some flex options here. You can move that Aurora around if you want. We know Perks could play that top lane if they wanted to. Well, you know you can look to play it out like that. You've got a number 9 option in the Aurora. We know how strong she is right now. But DMG, staying true to their route. It's a dive comp once more. It's an all-in wombo combo engage comp. They've gone for the Nocturne Orianna combo. Anybody who's watching the LPL earlier today would have seen some despicable things in game 3 of the draft earlier. JDG versus, who was it? Oh no, I was casting that game. I should know.
Oh, lovely.
They lost. That's not a good start. Oh no.
Akali's locked in. We move.
But either way, they're still going to be looking here with that Akali locked in. That's now a double flex, right? You can move the Akali top, you can move the Aurora top. That's kind of good fun. I like that still. And the Nautilus would be a great combo.
Wow.
So we're throwing in some interesting stuff at DMG, because they pretty much are working around the ball delivery for Orianna right now, with the Rel, with the Nocturne being the 2 most likely options. But I really like this Akali into the Nocturne, because the moment he flies in, the idea for Nocturne is that you get a kill and after that you try to get out. If you don't get a kill immediately, which usually is where Akali plays a very big role with going back into shadows with actually taking kill on her own because she's capable of killing Nocturne if he's not fully ahead of her, that's when things and a team fight in general becomes very complicated for DMG.
It's a Maokai.
More sets up for the
It's
team
wrap
fight.
up.
There's the Maokai. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like, it's another one of those big odds to play to set up the dives, right? And we know exactly how DMG are
Yes.
going to play. It's pretty obvious. It's written on the wall.
Saladi, you had a hot take.
I had a hot
Is it-
take that this game could be won before the game even starts in the
And
craft.
is it reality?
I don't think it is fully a reality, but I think we're getting very close because for DMG, this is a very straightforward composition. And I feel like for Ruddy with Akali, Aurora, and J4, I think they're fully equipped to answer this wombo combo with their own.
Okay. Initialize. Tell me.
I think Ruddy Saka got better options for playing the side lanes. That said, the Nocturne Maokai potentially allows you to punish some of those split pushing options that are there. We know how the likes of Perks has tended to play across his career in terms of looking to really get vantage in terms of the side lane pressure. That could be good. I still think I prefer Ruddy Sack's ways to variety in playing the game. They've got a few more ways to play outside of those big grouped up wombo combos.
Well, Wombo Combo is ready to go. The Costas as well, so take us to the Rift. Let's go, Jamada in the link.
Thank you very much, Sharam, and we are about to get into yet another crucial game. Obviously, with the group stage or seeding stage coming thick and fast, these games instantly starting to have huge implications on the standings as we immediately head on to the Rift. What is the main takeaway this time around? If DMG lose, they will have a date with Lost Ratones and they will be locked in 4th place. And a Ruddy Sack win would mean that they are just one win away from getting that 2nd seed, and that would be decided in that game against Venom Crest later today, while a DMG win would open up a whole heap of other possibilities to be decided all in the final game.
Potential tiebreakers.
Yeah, there are potential tiebreakers.
Potential tiebreakers, even so. You want to see the maximum amount of action tomorrow? And yeah, you're hoping for a DMG win. Let's see how Ruddy Sack get on though, because they did look significantly better once they didn't have, of course, the off-roll scenario going on, like they did in their opening game.
Yeah, and I think that's a crucial point to talk about, right, about the Ruddy Sack, because it was a tale of 2 games last week. One with Yamato Cannon in the top lane playing on, and one with their full lineup. In the first one, they played against, the 1st seed of this group, now Rich Gang, and they got smacked around quite easily. But in the second game, they did the smacking and absolutely destroyed Chaos with this invade now from DMG, sparking some early interest, and let's see how this turns out. I do believe they'll be able to get the blue buff, but Hums happily just hitting away on bits. I mean, could they force some cooldowns? What is the point of this, Jamana?
I mean, so DMG trying to force a map split. The blue does go over.
Yeah,
Ruddy Sack, no, if they can delay this for long enough,
should have
Jankos
the
will get
crash
over.
down lead. Another one in targeted by this DMG side. Good flash to follow, but Bitsa too far forward, taken down immediately. And there could be more to come. Flag and drag not quite available, but the flash auto from Hustlin to lock up Fadeski and seal his fate. It's falling to pieces already here as the Ruddy Sack claim 3 early kills.
It's a complete disaster for DMG. Absolutely Armageddon topside play. They're just looking, right, to get the blue buff, force the map split whilst the lane swaps have occurred. Not necessarily expecting, perhaps, the assignments to be the way that they are from Ruddy Sack. And it's a complete horror. Because whilst this is all going on, Jankos did red buff, right? So by the time that this blue buff goes down, Jankos is halfway here with red buff already in pocket. Leader does a good job baiting, flashes away, does end up getting feared, but now Jankos is here, stops the full chase down. Flash auto comes in from Hustling as well after the first couple of flashes. There you go. Looked a bit janky in the replay, but Riot spaghetti code for you, and 2 kills over to Hums. Another kill, I think, went over to Leader. And that's going to be just, I don't even know. Like, really, if you're DMG, what you're thinking after a level 1 like that.
Christ.
The Akali gets accelerated and still gets the Orianna matchup, mind you, right? It's just happening in the top side. So many strange things have occurred. Just simply because of how that level 1 played out right now. And now the bot laners are laning mid on top of all of this. It's a great game. It's a great game of League of Legends.
Man. Has science gone too far? Like, what are we witnessing at this point? This is pure anarchy, it feels like, as, they go wherever they please, right? As you say, 80 carries in the mid lane. No, B-score. The young little Danish rookie here could be looking for the solo bowler on Leader, and I think he'll get it.
Got it.
Go on, boy. Go on, lad. as he gets the solo kill. I mean, a little bit of a silver lining early on as Bucci now will be on in a little bit of trouble here. Does have the flash, uses it quite well, but can't keep perks in the tower range. Does he have any cooldowns coming up? That's the question. He has to try and dance around this and buy more time if that's a possibility. He does well.
Yuck.
He does really well here, to be honest. Komsky coming in as well. Perks, no mana, no HP. Jankos now left in no man's land, but does have the flashes. Hums rotating in as well. I mean, could they turn this? I think actually Ruddy's like winning this. What is happening, Jamada? As Hums is now on a killing spree. Huh?
You know what word? Do you know what term I feel like has gone extinct? That, you know, I feel like sometimes terms and phrases very, you know, very flavor of the month. We need to bring back Clown Fiesta just for this game, because that's what this feels like right now. It was a little bit botched from Ruddy Sack, right? The initial one is actually, well, I say botched. It's well played from Bucci, right? A great flash W out of Jankos' combo, but then Perk selects to be the one to tank tower, right? Tank one tower, E flash out, but then there's just no damage left in the tank between Jankos and Hustlin. They know if they commit, they will die. Jankos is able to get the flag and drag back out. And then Komsky just looking a bit too far forward, and then Hustlin interrupts the crash down out. So they get the free pickup, and I think that went over to Hums, and it does. So Hums now has 3 kills, an early Sheen, an early shutdown. He's almost 1,000 gold ahead of Hateski, so it's not the not the worst start in the world if you're a young spring AD carry.
I mean, I don't even know what is going on anymore at this point. This game is absolutely crazy, man. As you say, I think Clown Thief is a very good definition of this, and normally you'd see these things in games that didn't really matter, but remember, huge implications on the standings depending on the outcome of this game. Kate might as well just start watching this game and preparing for DMG at this point. You have to feel as, you know, a horrible start for them needs to be turned around if they want to avoid going up against those rats in round 1 of playoffs. Now a little bit of a move here from DMG, though, in the bot lane. Perks doesn't have a flash, but obviously, you know, the Aurora does have a bit of movement, can jump around and have a bit of fun. Perks gladly takes this fight against Beats. Good damage even. I mean, is he fancying it? Wouldn't be surprised if the MSI winner and Will finalist fancied his chances in this 1v2 instead, though. We'll just keep poking away at Bucci's life.
Yeah. Perks is the kind of player. He's got a lot of ego to do it, you know, and I use ego in the good way. He would always be willing to test his limits, that kind of situation, but recognizes maybe doesn't quite have the lethal damage, and also
can't even take it, man. He
there's
can't
no
even take the
use
Drake.
in flipping it, and yeah, like you say, he can't. He just can't. Has to move off. Those are the potential for the rotation is too high. Jankos is also up here, shielding off actually of all players the support from the crashing top wave. Jankos does have smite, but it starts to reset. A little bit awkward. He's gonna get it now. And we'll get the little ones for his trouble.
Yeah. And as we finally have some time to breathe, right? I think this is what the Ruddy Sack really wanted. Again, a tale of 2 games on that first day, but this is just a sign of, yes, that main roster is deadly, and so far they've come up, you know, out on top in every single exchange. Even when the dive didn't go fluently, they flipped the situation on its head yet again, and, you know, managed to pick up another kill. I believe just one, actually. And that was, you know, the killing spree on Hums, who is feeling very confident. The rookie on this lineup, certainly not an unfamiliar face to people inside the League of Legends scene, but in terms of competitive play, there is no experience to look back on from him, at very least in a serious competitive environment. And, you know, I've had a look at the scrims, Jamada, I'm not against that, you know. And, I mean, he has had some very good games, and he is certainly able to carry when put in a position like that.
Hey, look, man, that's young Hans. Hums Summer, you know.
Hums Summer, I actually really like that.
Guma Yusuf, maybe, perhaps.
Yushi.
Yeah. Look, Hums is definitely a very, very entertaining player to watch, and it's gonna forever, I think, be entertaining to just track his progress, right? As a pro, very vocal about just simply how excited he is to be part of a project like this. And of course, if you're following the off-season stuff, it was somewhat last second, right? Initially, it was supposed to be Jack Spectra in this slot, if you recall. So, of course, now off to the LEC broadcast. So a lot of these ADC content creator streamers, I mean, of course, Jack Spectra is an ex-player himself. So that announcement was very short-lived, I suppose, in retirement from esports. But yeah, again, very, very fun nonetheless to watch a true rookie in every essence of the word step into the role in his place. And whilst he was talking about that, Dragon was secured by Ruddy Sack, so they've got another objective, plus those 3 grubs from earlier as well. So one more neutral away from feats of strength, and game state as a whole sits really damn pretty at 2,500 gold. And of course, really solid scaling across the board. Very, very straightforward engage on just about every single part of this Ruddy Sack lineup. It's just about actually finding Bizguard and Fatesky in the mid game.
I'm very excited to see how this unfolds, right? There is still much of this game to be played, and while I think Ruddy Sack definitely with favorites, as here comes the combo, perks, what can you really do about it? Flash is... what? Tries to get the movement in his ultimate, but I think he flashed out of it himself as Bisco, able to claim that kill. A Ruddy Sack roster that certainly doesn't fail to deliver on the content part, but I think behind the scenes, Son Jake and the crew have very serious ambitions, right, Jamada, about winning the league. Ruddy Sack, an organization under Ruddy before that has always been entertaining to watch and always done, you know, decently well, right? A few 4th place finishes, back-to-back finals last year, but ultimately it ended in heartbreak in both splits. Failing to win the finals and failing to get their hands on the first trophy. There is no doubt about it. That is that if there ever was a time, it's this roster, right? You have, you know, as you say, LEC level players, MSI winners and world finalists on this roster. If not now, then when is the question I would pose about this Ruddy Sack roster. But then again, the competition has never been higher or never been fiercer in the NLC.
Exactly. Organizationally, you say. Internal expectations always been high, but it's just always been the dotting of I's, crossing of T's that have just fallen short for Ruddy. Yeah, ever so common phrase, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Very easily sums up their 2024. Definitely want to reverse some of those fortunes.
Yeah, what a year they had though, what a year, as they do claim those feats of strength. I think, looking back, right, they had a miracle run. They had 1% chance of qualifying for playoffs towards the end of that spring split, and they made it in as the 4th seed. Had a miracle run all the way to finals, and summer split, different story. 1st place in the regular season, favorites all split, and just falling short in Game 5 against Venom Crest. I mean, when those two go head to head later on today, it is a rivalry not just between 2 UK orgs, but 2 orgs that have always pushed each other to the limits, right? 2 5-game series in the Aurora Cup semifinals and summer finals of the NLC, with Venom Crest coming out on top. More on that later though, as that's simply just a teaser. This game has slowed down, so loads of time to explore those different storylines as DMG have settled themselves in this game, Jamada, and I mean, they aren't out of it yet.
Not out of it yet, by any means. That Orianna Nocturne combo, we saw it in action in the bottom lane, and generally it's such a potent combo, especially into squishy backliners. Though, when you really think about it, a lot of this Ruddy lineup wants to dive in, right? It's pretty much 4 out of 5. Hums kind of just wants to hit what's in front of him as the Corki. That's about it. And even if DMG, you know, assassinate this Corki with those 2 big ultimates, then that means it's, you know, a shockwave that's maybe not being used for multiple diving members, as like you call out, Bizguard could be in trouble.
They are here to respond. They have the Orianna Nocturne combo available. Won't use it this time. I was thinking maybe in the small little area, right? They had a chance of doing something. Yeah, let's see. 2-man, they get it out, and the damage is decent. Not a good kill secured yet, but there comes the first one. I mean, they could have hoped for more, but they'll gladly take another kill on the right target as well. The first one for Fatesky this game.
Yeah, they also get Jankos' flash too, so not bad at all. Disrupt the dive that was in the offing. I will say, using those big ultimates though, before this dragon spawns, 35 seconds time, the pick feels nice, but now it's, you know, no chains of corruption, no lights off, no shockwave. Whereas on the opposite side, Ruddy didn't really invest anything, so it's actually not the worst thing in the world if you're talking objective game, the macro side of things. Sucks to get picked off like that, but death timer means that Hustling's already back out on the map, and they already had vision control on the bottom side, which wasn't swept by DMG off the back of the play. So we kind of just returned to exactly the map state we were in before the play unfolded.
I think that's a very good point. If Ruddy Sack want to try and capitalize on those ultimates being down, now is the window, and you can see Jankos stationed just as the Drake spawns to instantly take that down as well. The gold lead hasn't been growing for these past 5 minutes, but they've been, you know, farming, getting their power spikes and getting their second Drake of the game. Now the feats of strength already in their pocket, but they can always use another neutral objective, right? Getting towards that soul point. So that's a very nice Drake, and as you said, you know, DMG can't contest, they don't have the ultimates.
Whole economy not in their favor. And of course, with Herald spawning at 16 minutes, it's not even as if DMG can look to cross map on this timer either. So it's kind of just all ups if you're a Ruddy supporter. DMG definitely want to look kind of soon in terms of a power spike. Or just anything, really. Though, as I say it, actually, Facey's gone on hit this game, which I don't blame him. You know, I feel like even if you go lethality, you're still going to be reached. It's kind of just the story of playing against the Jarvan. If Jarvan wants to press his R on you, he will eventually find a way.
I mean,
unless you are quite literally playing 3 screens back. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, especially when it's Jankos Jarvan, right? He will find you, and he will lock you down. So I do agree with you. That is a decent decision there. Nothing wrong with that. Looking at the items, I mean, it's the first items. This game has definitely slowed down in pace. The next neutral objective is up in a little bit of a minute's time. We've touched a lot about, you know, the stories and expectations really of this Ruddy Sec roster, and let's see if Komsky want to try and get himself involved. Not, you know, plenty of time to dive into to DMG, but it looks like instead we have to get ready for potential fight as they posture around the Herald spawning in 30.
Herald in 30. But this is really when Ruddy Sec are going to feel very, very strong. First time completed on Akali and level 11. The perfect execution is almost contextually at its peak of power, right? It's so much upfront execution damage. With Perks on the bottom side with TP, probably an opportunity to maybe even find a base window. Things seem primed for Ruddy Sec to get this one started. Just need mid prio. DMG will have to end a second. I think that's always the way that this is going to have to play out. Let's see how things unfold though. Didn't reset down here. Gonna stick around. Maybe he tries to keep Gucci around, but even as I look at the scoreboard, he doesn't have teleport for another couple of seconds. The Herald has been started up. DMG have to walk in second. They have to try and force the play with this Orianna Nocturne combo.
He's on Bitzer. Here comes the combo. It's on to only Hustlin, and he's singled out and taken down. Good 3-man ultimate as a re-engage. Even now coming in from the flank. Perfect execution available. 5-point strike connects as well. The damage is good, and he finds 2 immediately. And the next up is Fates. Gives 3 quick kills. And that Rift Herald on top of it. Ruddy Sec with a clean fight.
Leader for so long has been an absolute master of his craft when it comes to these melee assassin champions. And I mean, given an entry like that, he is going to take it. And again, we speak about how DMG need to utilize the maximum, you know, capabilities of this combo. Bitse just flunks on the flash, right? I think he's trying to get Jankos in this flash instead. It just comes in late, and it all hits Hustlin. 3 ultimates for the support. Jankos locks up 3 members in the Cataclysm, and then the ultimate comes through from Leader. But now we come out of the replay in the mid lane.
Trouble. Good flash to create some space. Komsky not in the same luxurious situation he is. I mean, not in trouble right now, but the turret is. As now they will turn their attention to the targets and take down Komsky immediately. And after the game had slowed down, Ruddy put their foot on the gas and start getting some kills their way.
Getting some kills their way, indeed. I'd say now, actually, gonna sidestep the Perks combo. Should be fine unless Hustling can find a Dread
Yeah,
Flight.
no flash. I mean, he's dead here, right? The flash was used in the final fight, and Perks will claim the kill. Hums doing a whole heap of damage on the opponent's AD carry there, as now Bucci's the one in trouble. He's left on his lonesome and left out to dry, you could say. He could try and buy some time, but so tanky. I mean, not so tanky as this Maokai.
So tanky, not yet. Very far off, and Ruddy Sec just exploding this game wide open. As tier 1 drops, rotate over, kill the bottom laner. Oh, sorry, rather, kill the top laner in the bottom lane. It's all going very well for Ruddy. There's not really many answers coming out from DMG at all. And I can't fault them. You know, their entire engage plan comes from this Nocturne Orianna combo, and they've just not been able to find that key target you would like to find. Whether it's Hums, whether it's Leader, they've not been able to prevent them from causing major disruption in the backline. And with so much backline disruption on offer, it feels like this continual gameplay cycle is just going to continue until we get an end game here. Aslin and Yankos hunting for members of DMG, but they go back and retreat. And expect this now on repeat if you're Ruddy Sack, right? Clear waves, walk into the jungle, get vision, get objective. DMG overstep, just absolutely obliterate them.
Oh, they want Hunts here, and they're going to try and get the pick, but they're too far forward. Ruddy Sack had read the play and coming with a counter move. They've taken down Fately, but Booch is now the one in trouble. Is there any way out for the All-Pro top laner last bit? There certainly isn't. Holds onto his flash, knowing his demise was inevitable. And it seems inevitable that Ruddy Sack will continue to grow this goal lead. Peril now summoned, and I mean, there was always the miracle, but it seems like the light has been turned out here for DMG. As the Herald charging through, the turret's taken down, the gold lead ballooning in Ruddy Sack's favor.
Yep, 6 grubs. No chips, but they've got a Herald. That's going to break open the base inhibitor if they want it. No Baron up, but Atakan, I feel like, may be worth breaking the old guard rule. Though I actually wonder how that rule has or hasn't evolved, right? In terms
That's a
of
good question.
inhibitor before Baron. It's not something I thought about. Maybe we get a word in with LS. And this is, of course, the one that really popularized the whole no inhib before Baron, or no inhib too early, right? 20 minutes, I feel still like is a relatively solid rule to follow. Well, of course, it was so heavily tied around that Baron buff spawn up. Either way, Ruddy Sack, they had the option to get the inhibs. I'll tell you that for free. Looks like they just decide to back away for now and pick up more IM completions, right? You can see on the side of your screen, leader, second time. I think he had that Shadow Flame beforehand, but goes back and now he's got Seekers and the upgraded tier 3 Sork shoes just for maximum power for the immediate future. Spend that gold where you can. I don't mind it here. And perks as well. 2 items completed on that Aurora.
Oh,
Continuing to scale up.
you cannot lose your jungler now. Not when Arkan has just spawned, and it is a massacre.
Komski's
He
next.
gets obliterated. And now Komski left on the wrong side of the rift. I was about to say potentially an Orianna shockwave could change things around Arkan, but when you're 3v5, there is not much to do. Ruddy Sack are not taking any chances this game. They want to keep their hope of that second seed alive as they've taken down 2 now of DMG, and attention turns to Arkan.
Attention will turn to Arkan. This should be a very easy pickup. No jungler, no support. Those are the 2 core facets of how DMG were looking to engage. They have been dissected and removed by Ruddy Sack. With this buff in tow, I imagine they look to just get the inhibs, right? Get them ready, prep primed down. So if the Baron even spawns up, given the pace of this game, they can just go to it. Feel very, very free to start it up on any window they want.
So what's the miracle run here? The miracle angle for DMG. Wait out these timers, get 2 items on B-score, and hope for a 5-man Orianna ultimate into 5-man everything, and then pray it's enough, and if that isn't, it's just done.
They basically need the they need the wombo combo of the century, man. The millennium. It's gotta just be a 5-man everything.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm not sure if that's gonna get them over the hurdle. This kind of game state.
I mean, certainly not an easy hurdle to climb either, right? Yamato, Ruddy Sack, in my opinion, one of the top 3 teams this split, just purely based on roster, and obviously, they have that 1-0 besides them, but a huge asterisk next to that, right? Yamato Cannon playing the game, picking on into Braum. You can point at all these different reasons to why that
into
happened.
Braum against Banderas,
Yeah,
like
against
D-split
Banderas and
push
this
guy.
There are so many things for that, and this is
Yeah.
what they need. I mean, they're going in while the withdrawals are up, though, so while they get 1, it's only 100 gold, and if Ruddy Sack end up winning this fight, I think it might just be game over. Here comes Leader, and look at that damage! The perfect execution is absolutely perfect. 5-point strike, double kill for Perks, and DMG forced to retreat back into their bases. Another withdrawal force, but little to no avail on that as they are running for the hills.
I mean, look, you can see the potential of what DMG's composition could have done, but they're just too far behind at this point. Through the Atakan buff, it's not quite enough. What are Ruddy Sack planning here? Are they going for a game end?
They could be looking for it, right? Still 3 withdrawal. Yanker's one of them. No man and no
Inhib,
HP will
boys.
likely withdraw himself soon. Bucci really wants the auto, but should go down. 1 more is enough as the rocket from Hums collects it. Now the withdrawal comes through on Yankers. Is this a window with Any opportunity or any sliver of hope? Not quite for DMG. 2 item spikes now hit, and they, manage to hold on to that base, but again, it's table scraps they're fighting over as Ruddy will, not calmly disengage, rather. They want more, and they are looking for Kormsky. Leader, fishing on the flank, biding his time and waiting for the right opportunity. Pizza, the one in trouble as Kormsky gets cut down by Hums, who's now almost legendary on this Corgi. I mean, DMG, man. It does not make for good viewing as Ruddy have upped the tempo and DMG just can't keep up. The withdrawals have now run out. Is the miracle still there to be made?
One more combo.
The combo comes through and it's on to Hum, but he even survives that, and this fight is all but lost after that, you have to say. Let's just take a look at it though. Hums quite low as Bucci looks to close down on him. Fadesky dishing damage away on Yankees, but there is simply not enough damage on this lineup. There is nothing you can do despite Hums being down. It's all on B-Score, who's left on the base, or left in the base, to try and heal up and try and assemble the pieces that DMG have been left in by Ruddy here. They've been packed up and sent flying somewhere else, maybe straight into 4th place in that date with Los Ratones. Ruddy though, keeping on the pressure, wanting to end it here, doesn't want to give any chance of a steal or Baron to be flipped, but instead they realize that they have done everything they can on this push and they have to retreat.
They've used a lot of time and tempo here. Ruddy trying to end the game, maybe getting a little bit too overhyped on the potential of a game end. This is almost 3 minutes ago. So shockwave combo, Nocturne looks good. Hums a one-shot, great. Small problem, Leader wasn't here yet, and of course it's only a withdrawal.
Look at the damage, man.
Yeah, exactly. Once Leader decides to go in, I mean, I can't remember how long the lockout is, but imagine if he could have ulted through all 3 of them, Leader, after that Q.
Wow.
It would have been so much more damage. And yeah, Uchi to flash out from that Cataclysm.
Yeah, that's
come out of
solid,
the replay. Yeah, that's all we need to see. MTech Soul. Things couldn't go any worse for DMG in the game state. This game is basically done. We're kind of just waiting for the Nexus to blow up at this point.
Yeah, there is not much to be done, especially when your tank gets caught out like this. Bucci, man, come on. And we know there is so much better in this guy, but this day has been one to forget for him as he's caught out once again and taken down. Now 4v5. Desperately, DMD trying to hold on, trying to get something. There is still one last combo in their arsenal, but I doubt it will change anything. They can say hello to Los Ratones in the playoffs as Ruddy keep that hunt for 2nd place well and truly alive here. Look at Perks, man! He's blowing up the backline. It is absolute carnage as they get ripped to pieces, reassembled and destroyed yet again. Ruddy are playing with their food and they are not messing around here on game day 2 as they absolutely obliterate DMG.
Just excellent stuff from Ruddy, right? Clean snowball once the snowball